Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we are looking at the King's Avatar, Quan Zhi Gao Shou, episode 12, and the season finale. So, by the way, I'm going to be using my phone just to pronounce some of the names, because honestly, I typically have problems pronouncing half the people's names in the King's Avatar. I mean, I already have problems, as you know, with doing anime, actual Japanese names, but yeah, the King's Avatar really throws me for a loop. The whole series has been awesome, but let's first talk, like I said, about episode 12 and what made it so cool. Now, episode 12 sets up for a really good season 2. I think that, a lot of times, the most important thing is to hook someone for another season. You want to make sure that your season doesn't end on a complete cliffhanger, but at the same time, makes it so you want another season. And, the King's Avatar did a perfect job of that with the whole kind of fight at the end, and also the announcement that, he was going to definitely make a team in a year after training and getting a little bit stronger. He's going to make a new team, and then it goes continued in season 2. That's awesome. I know this is based off a webtoon series, so, you can obviously watch it there and get more information about that, but what's really cool is how they did it, where I just loved how epic it was. It felt epic. It seemed epic. And it's really rare a season 1 finale leading into a season 2 is that epic. It's usually kind of a cliffhanger type thing. Now, besides all of that, Yizhu as a character, just in general, was awesome. I really liked his character. And I liked all the characters, Sleeping Bun, except, what was it? I'm trying to think of all their different names. They have so many freaking names. And that's one thing I think that's kind of beautiful about the King's Avatar is all the different names that they have, like, Sleeping Rain, Peaceful, I think it was Peaceful Heaven or something like that. I might be butchering these people's names. I'm sorry if I am, but, and I didn't want to rely too much on my phone, because even though I said I would, I put my phone down, because, like I said, I don't like doing stuff like that. But, overall, things that I loved about the series was definitely the animation. I loved the story. I loved how it's fast-paced, but at the same time, it's something that you can keep up with in terms of a story. It cuts out a lot of the filler stuff that you get in anime, which is really very interesting for any series in general, but especially a Chinese animation, because with a lot of the Chinese animations I've seen, there's a lot of filler usually. There's stuff that kind of goes in between that's not needed, and it felt like every episode of The King's Avatar was necessary to keep the story flowing, and that's definitely an awesome thing. The animation in terms of fighting and in terms of the looks, the environments, etc., those were beautiful. I think I've never seen an anime look that nice in a long time. The biggest downfall of the series, though, comes in some of the simpler animations, like walking for some characters really looks weird. Some of the CGI work is downright horrible. Like when you see it, luckily it's only for a brief second, but it's really bad. But it's not. Even when those moments are happening, even those weaker sections, the show still looks incredible thanks to its backgrounds, thanks to its character animations in terms of how they look and stuff like that. So I can't falter it too much for that, but I am taking out some points in my head for that. I also think that probably one of the biggest deterrents from the show, and why it's not for me getting a perfect score, because if you go on Mal, you'll find out what my score is for this right now, and it's going to be very similar to my actual grade for this. It's that at times, I felt like the story went a little too fast. And like I said before, it's that I like that at the same token. I like how it doesn't really hold your hand with a lot of stuff. It makes it where it goes from point A to point B, and it tells you just the pathway that you need to know. The problem with that is, in a show like this with so much detail in terms of characters, in terms of how you knew so many different people in general, how his past was always a constant thing of glory, etc. You want to know more of those details. You want to know more in detail of those details, which makes, if you think about it, it's kind of weird phrasing, but it's very true. You want the little details that are relevant. Because it does it such a fast manner, there are times where you feel like you lose out on something. It has nothing to do, by the way, with the English subtitles being too fast or anything. It's more so just how it's presented as a story and narrative. It's sometimes a little too fast for its own good. So that definitely is a hindrance against those who might try to get into the King's Avatar. But other than that, that's probably my only biggest gripe about it. Everything else, it's awesome. I'll tell you right now, the soundtrack, which is all Chinese, it's actually really beautiful. It's really strong. Episode 12's fight music near the end that was just the opening, but it was just so much more impactful because the way they did it was just a lot stronger. And I think with the whole fighting sequence in it, made it 10 times better. But opening, closing were great. They had this, tone that you don't really hear too much, and that's obviously because it's a Chinese tone. You don't really get that in anime, obviously. But I think in many ways, I didn't get into the series right away because I was so hesitant on hearing, oh, it's one of those Chinese animations. And I've seen so many bad ones. Like, perfect example is Blood Divorce. Blood Divorce is a Chinese animation, and it's garbage. Another one's The Outcast, and The Outcast was not that great. That was a zombie / like fantasy type story, not well done at all. So I typically see that, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not gonna like it, am I? But and I know people were saying how great it was, and it's just, you get that kind of stigma right away in you, and you're like, oh, I can't watch this. I'm not gonna fall for someone saying it's good and it's really not. But I'll tell you right now, guys and girls, as someone who really thought that, I'm telling you right this very second, The King's Avatar, it's a must-watch. You can watch the first 11 episodes right now on YouTube legally, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm watching something. No, legally it's on YouTube. You can find it from the same avatars. It's not very hard to find, so this way it's the legit stuff. Episode 12, I believe, will be released next week, so you can watch it then on next week. There's various other ways to watch episode 12. I'm not going to say how you can watch them, but they're out there. But overall, guys and girls, if I had to give, The King's Avatar an A through F, have to give it an A-. I think the show is incredible. Besides a few faltering points here and there, it's still one of the coolest anime I've seen of the season so far. Just to be honest, like, it's one of my top 5 favorite anime of 2017 spring season. Anyways, guys and girls, I am done my reviews today. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I said that yesterday, but just in case you didn't watch my video when I said that, I think it was my Recreators review I said that in. Happy Father's Day to everyone. God bless you all. As always, until I pass across again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. God bless you all. Bye-bye.